Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesdays. So glad to be here with all of you. And because you come on in, please remember to like and share this afternoon. Make sure that you have your coffee or your tea of choice. Just excited to be here with all of you as we take time to pause, reset, and continue to build resilience. And so this is great. I'm definitely excited about this afternoon. Good afternoon, Daphne, and welcome to Tea Time. Thanks to all of our faithful Tea Time community, and as well as all those who'll be joining us for your very first time. We say welcome to you and welcome to Tea Time. All right, so make sure you grab your tea, your journal, and invite someone to join us. You know, somebody's on lunch break right now or they're available. Invite them to join us on Tea Time as we're here and we're just excited about our tea time community and just so thankful. So as we're moving forward and you're coming on, make sure you just tell us what you're having today, and make sure you have the journal ready and make sure that you are sharing as well. We want to get those numbers up for our tea time community. So we're going to go ahead as we usually do and talk about our awarenesses for the month, and what we have going on here for this month. Just excited about that. And this is October is National Book Month. We're celebrating reading, writing, and literature all month. And so those who enjoy reading, those who are writers, enjoy everything regarding literature, this is a great time that we observe for this month and the National Book Month. If you want to, you can tell us what your favorite book is or what you're currently reading right now. And go ahead and chime in because this is National Book Month and for reading, writing, and literature. All right, so we're excited about that. And then October is National Depression and Mental Health Screening Month. National Depression and Mental Health Screening Month, and there is hope. And so we just are in service of that here at the Renewal Center as we continue to embrace renewal and wellness as part of who we are. We are observing National Depression and Mental Health Screening Month. And those who are getting screened and encourage those to get screened as well so that we continue to have a journey of good mental health and awareness of your mental health as well and depression. So we, the Renewal Center, are observing this month of October as well. All right. No tea today, coffee. All right. All right. And speaking of tea or coffee, today our tea of the week, the Renewal Center tea of the week is cinnamon apple tea. And if I was to say if it's one of my favorites for the winter time, as well, Carmela, I love that cinnamon taste as well. So go ahead and share what you're having. Our executive director, Patrick, says he's having peppermint tea. Okay, very good, very sweet tea for taking for my stomach as well. All right, there's Dr. Paul Brown. Welcome. Okay, aloha tea timers. Earl Grey black tea. Aloha to you. Well,
he's drinking your favorite tea.
yes, he is. Earl Grey tea. Dr. Paul is one of my favorite top teas. Good afternoon, Nicole, and welcome to Tea Time. And good afternoon to all of you as you're sharing your teas of the week, or if you're having coffee or even having water. Carmela, what are you having?
I'm having ginger and honey tea.
Okay, ginger and honey tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually having caramel coffee. I'm just having caramel
Ooh,
coffee
that sounds
this
good.
afternoon. So I've been having coffee. I think this is probably my third cup of coffee this morning.
Oh,
So
wow.
coffee. Morning. So again, just want to welcome all of you here. And as we go ahead, okay. Java Cha. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Nicole always
Mhm.
has
You got
interesting keys that she shares, and makes us, provokes us to try new things as far as in the area of tea. So as we're moving forward today, we're going to go ahead and go into our locate ourselves, a practice that we do here at the Renewal Center. Just a time where we take to pause, a time where we are taking time to pause on what we want to do. If you just take a moment to just just sit and kind of relax your shoulders and relax your fingers and just kind of just, focus in on, even calming, being in a calm place, which is, according to your breathing, and just take a moment to just pause from the day. So we're going to go ahead into our locate yourself. All right, a few more moments. Yes. Isn't that great? Thank you all for participating and locate yourself. And this is just, it's a great time to pause and just take a moment to pause from your day, pause from the morning and all the activities of the morning. And again, just excited about that. I see Daphne just says that my favorite book is The Delivery Room, written by Daphne Chet.
All right,
Oh,
Daphne.
that's right. And she says, however, I'm reading Kingdom Leadership, written by Tony Evans. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your read for this month. All right. So we're going to go ahead without further ado and go into our tea time this afternoon. So I hope that you guys have your tea time journal, your pen, and your engagement ready, as Carmela Head is going to lead us with tea time this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Hope. I'm so excited to see everybody. I know everybody is excited to be here on this Tuesday afternoon. And Hope has led us into our tea time right now where we located ourselves. So I hope everybody's relaxed. And so, without further delay, I just want to ask how everyone is doing with their challenge. I know last time I came and did the renewal practices, I talked about play, right? I talked about recess. I'm going to stick this slide back up. A day to play. So you guys give me some hearts out there if you remember this particular renewal practice that we did. And this was the challenge. The challenge was focusing on self-care and designing a day to play. So actually, I wanted to find out and ask everyone how they were doing on a scale from 1 to 10. So sometimes, the last time, there were some people that said that their time of play and self-care was at a 2 or 3. And so our goal was to get it up to 5 and beyond. So if you guys are out there and you had an opportunity over the last 30 days to put play into practice and to do some fun things to actually incorporate more self-care on the side of play and leisure and focusing on discovery, which we talked about. Matter of fact, Hope, did you get a hula hoop?
I have not gotten my hula hoop yet. But speaking of that, you know what, Pastor Mill, I have been um, doing these online hula dancing that I found.
Okay.
So that's been fun. I have to go and take time to get the hula hoop.
Wow, the hula hoop dance. You know, everything is interactive now, so there's like no excuse, isn't there? You can find.
No, it's not.
Oh
Yes.
wow, this is
Yep.
good. So you guys go ahead and put it out there. If you are above a 5 now, if you have gone to a 10 or mastered a 10, anytime through the tea time, go ahead and put it in the chat. We're just doing a check-in to see how is your self-care with fun. Okay, so while you're rolling that around in your mind and thinking about that, we're going to go to our renewal practice today. And I'm kind of repurposing something that I shared about a year and a half ago, and it's about reflection. And so, here at the Renewal Center, we're all about reflection. We're all about taking time for reflection. I see a remark coming in here. We're all about reflection. Hello, Charlisa. How you doing? Thank you for coming today. Okay, well, we got some coming in. Nicole is a 10. Yeah, you do a lot of traveling and do a lot of exploration, don't you, Nicole? Thank you for sharing that. And that's good that her self-care in the area of play is at a 10. So this is really wonderful. Let's see our executive directors chiming in. Self-care with fun, 2 and a 3. Okay, Patrick, we got to get that up to about a 5. So we can start incorporating some more stuff, some more fun and leisure and enjoyment. But our executive director, Patrick, is working on his PhD, his doctorate. So he doesn't have a whole lot of time to incorporate a whole lot of fun. But at least you increase it a bit to 3. Let's see what he said. He says, I will when I finish with my doctorate. That's right. Yes. And so we wish him well as he continues to study his PhD because it's very tedious. Okay, so thank you guys for bringing all of your input in on where you are. But we want to talk about reflection today. I'm going to put this up on the screen for all of us. And as Hope has said, she's invited everyone to have their journal. We always have our journal, but today I want to talk a little bit about using it more in a more productive way and meaningful way. And that is all about reflection. Dr. Brown, my father's out there. He says 10 on the balcony at Seaside.
All right. Isn't that great?
He's over there in Hawaii and enjoying the beautiful sunset, sunrise, and the waves and ocean. Thank you for sharing that. And that's great to have a 10 in your self-care because self-care is so important. If you would, go with me in your journal today, and right at the top of your journal, we're going to talk about learning principles of reflection. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen where both of us are here. Let's see. Okay, learning principles of reflection. And so we're going to talk about reflection of learning, and that will be our renewal practice today. A lot of times we think about reflection, and when you think about the word reflection, what comes to your mind? What's the first thing that you think about? Reflection to me is a time to just get away and really focus on where I've been, what I'm doing, maybe just relaxing my mind, but also razor focusing in. What about you, Hope? What is your interpretation of reflection?
Well, just to add to what you were saying, for me, reflection is basically I'm taking time to kind of set aside time to think about, where I am or what has happened, depending on the day, or just it depends, reflecting on my day, reflecting on what's going on. For me, reflection is in my quiet time and quiet moments and calm. So, that's what reflection is to me. It's like taking that time where I am thinking about what has taken place, whether it's during that day, the week, the month, or even the year. We can reflect up on many things. So that's what reflection is for me.
Thank you for sharing that. And, and some of the things that Hope has said is so important. Even to her, she sees the importance of reflection. And I know we talk a lot about that here at the Renewal Center. We talk about pause, we talk about reset, to focus on what matters most to us, right? Well, some of the things that we talked about a year and a half ago that I shared about reflection, I wanted to see how we can use our journal as a tool more so to help us learn. Hope has shared plenty practices in times past about using our journals, the importance of journaling, what you can do while you're journaling. And so today I want us to look at how we can, during our workday, during our weekends, our evenings, our free time, to use reflection and our journals as a tool to help us learn. And so I am going to put some things on the screen here. One of the things I want to start off with was this quote that I had shared. And so I'm going to put it up. I want you to reflect on this quote. And then I would love for you all to chime in, Tea Timers, and tell me, what are you getting from this quote about reflection? The quote says, curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning, and that is by William Arthur Ward. Okay, let's go to the audience. Let's go to the Tea Timers. What do you guys think about that quote? And while you're thinking about that, Hope, what did you see in this quote that jumped out at you?
Well, I actually saw a candle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And for me, a visual a lot. So I saw like a candle and it burning. But what stood out to me was that it can't burn unless, it won't be a candle unless it has a wick. It has to have some type of wick or something for it to burn. So I apply that as well as in learning. A wick is important for the curiosity, for it to have that burning on the inside to learn. And
I love that.
That's what first actually came to mind.
You got a kind of a visual interpretation of it. Oh, I love it. Okay. I think our Tea Timers are thinking about that quote. I'm going to put it back up.
Okay.
Thank you, Hope, for sharing that. Curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning. I think what I got from that is the word curious. Curiosity kind of stuck out. It always has. Just being curious about wanting to know more. I want to be curious about learning. And those two words, curiosity and learning, gaining new knowledge, new understanding, new experiences. I'm always wanting to learn new things. I know both of us are travelers. We love culture. We like to do things. We like to read. There's a lot of new things we just like to do. And so I'm sure our Tea Timers are like that too. Curiosity and learning, I think they both go hand in hand. So Tea Timers, what is your interpretation of reflection? What is your interpretation of reflection? While you're putting your responses, I would like to share something that I found that was really interested about, in the definition of reflection. One of the things that said is reflection is a mirror to fold back and to give consideration to think about. And I said, wow, a mirror. So really what you're doing during your time of reflecting, during your time of journaling, is you're looking in a mirror, you're looking within yourself to look back. When you look into a mirror, you see yourself. So as you're reflecting, you're seeing yourself in different life experiences. You're seeing yourself in different aspects of where you are. You're looking within to see what you're learning and all of these things. And so I really take time, and I think that curiosity is one of the biggest things that grabs my attention during reflection, because I'm thinking, what is this? What is going on? What's new? What can I learn? What's that? How can I apply that? Those type of things. I think we got a response coming in. I think those are the type of things that ignite me when I'm starting to journal. And I see some responses coming in. Patrick is saying, curiosity keeps my mind active, and my growth is in asking questions. I think that's profound, because when we're looking in the mirror, and I'm just saying, looking in the mirror of reflection when we're journaling, we're asking questions too sometimes. I know, do you do that sometimes?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're asking questions. We're thinking. I love this. And here's Dr. Paul is saying, for me, it is a centerpiece and allows me to gain more insight for living. Talking about life experiences. And for him, he's saying it's the centerpiece, it's the foundation for what's next. Thank you for sharing that. Hope, you want to read? You want to take some of these?
Oh, sure. Daphne says, I am a learner sometimes to a default. Okay.
Yes, it's learning.
Yeah.
Here's
All right.
another one.
Nicole Pennell says, in my reflection, I see my true self exactly as I am and exactly where I am.
Wow. These are really powerful, and I'm really thinking, as you're expressing your interpretation of reflection, you start to see that you start to see what you really are feeling about yourself. It's like a
Mhm.
mirror. And I really like that we've taken this time to talk about reflection today, because it's so important. I want to share something with all of us. Something that I thought about this week as we are talking about reflection, and this is this. In our moments of reflection, we can use our journal to really think about learning, relearning, and unlearning. And as I've come to over time, I'm starting to see that these three areas of learning are so important to all of us. As we are learning, learning is acquiring new knowledge and constructing new skills. So that's the new things that we always want to, take part in. We're curious about it. Relearning is like upgrading or replacing what you unlearn with new information. And so unlearning is reflecting on what's no longer relevant. And so all of us are in like different stages, different places. I know when I journal, I may not be in the same place I was last week.
Yeah.
Or I may not be, I know for me, journaling, sometimes I may not be in the same place I was in January
Hmm.
of this year because of new experiences and things. So for all of us, I think that a type of reflection, we can use our journals to start really thinking about, what am I learning? What new things am I going to do? Skip down to unlearning. What things aren't relevant really right now? I want to unlearn those things and replace them with new information so I could progress. And so I think it's about the self-discovery piece.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Hope?
Definitely about the self discovery. And you said something like, even when journaling, it may be like the next time we do a reflection, it may be totally different from what you may be experiencing the first time. And so for me, it's just the opportunity to kind of take a look at myself and reflect, take a look at life and those around me. And for me, I am intentional about making time to journal about it and to write things down. The good thing about the journaling is, and the reflection is, that I can go back and I can reflect upon what I was reflecting upon at a
Mhm.
particular time in my life, whether that was 30 days, 60 days, or some months ago. And then I can look at that and see where I am. And then I can also see where I am now. And I can reflect on the growth that has taken place during that time. So it's really, kind of all, it works together. And reflection for me is very important. It also allows you to give yourself grace too. Um,
Mhm.
in a lot
Wow.
of areas. It shows not just growth, but it also shows the opportunity to extend grace on maybe some things I reflected about that maybe that were not so good. But anyway, I just that's the big thing about reflection for me, and the importance of journaling about it as well.
I like that. One of the things that you said, and I'm going to talk about it, is growth. And it's not all the grander things, but it's the things that, you had to learn from, the experiences that are teachable moments that we could write down in the journal. And, one of the things that I like about that, as you said, revisiting. And that's what we're going to talk about, because we don't just journal for now. We journal to go back and see how far we've come. Sometimes I
Mhm.
go back and I pull that journal out from what, 2015,
Yeah.
2017. You're like, oh my gosh, was I really? You look at some of the goals you wrote down or whatever you
Mhm.
have in there or
Mhm.
what you experienced.
Mhm.
You're able to glean from that
Yeah.
too, even from looking
Mhm.
back. So thank you for sharing that. And we got some more responses coming in. Patrick is saying, in reflection, I focus on asset-based thinking rather than deficit-based. So he's looking at how he can use this to launch himself forward, what's
Mhm.
actually benefiting him. And I think this is really great. I love these responses. Be wet cement in the hand of life. I love this because actually I wanted to talk about the fact that our journals are working, it's like a working document. It's never just it's not just concrete, it's ever evolving and forming. And so we can always add things to our journal. Thank you for sharing that, Patrick. And our time as reflection, to me, it's a great opportunity that what we're currently learning, we can put in there the things that we have learned and what we're unlearning, some things that we're relearning, things that don't work anymore. We can add those things to our journals. And I think that's just such a big thing.
Yes.
Tea timers, I want to share this screen. I want you to think about this as well. As we were talking about unlearning, what are the benefits of reflection? To you, what do you get out of reflecting? And then while you're thinking about that, where are the places that you go? Where do you go to reflect? I know for me, I mean, what is quiet time? So some of us is quiet time, quiet moments, leisure time. It's a time that we brainstorm. It's a time of masterminding. It's a time that we slow down and find a place. We talk about that all the time, but it's a meaningful way or time to zero in and become more aware of where we are in the season that we're in. Because like I said, we may not be in the same season we were, and we can use our journals to assess where we are. I don't see any more comments coming in, but please chime in. Please feel free to chime in with us, Tea Time community. I also thought that reflection, when you think about what are the benefits of reflection, I think sometimes when we reflect, it gives us a time to make a new start or turn over a new leaf. Maybe it's time to shift or pivot into a new direction. And we can write that down in our journal, download that information and just brainstorm of, maybe I want to start something new. I want to go in a new direction and write about it. And so that once you get it out of your head and write it down in the pages, and it starts to make more sense, it starts to come alive. And I think that's a way for us to rebuild, a way to us to revise and reorganize where we are. Hope, please jump in at any time.
Okay, sure. I was just thinking as you were speaking about, could you put that last slide up again for me? What are the benefits of reflection? The first thing I thought about was the benefit for me is growth. And it's a benefit also of, embracing who I am, my authentic self. It gives me an opportunity to see where I am. So the basic thing is like kind of growth and how I can move, even further and grow even more. So in the time of reflecting, and in my places of reflection for me is like maybe I like to reflect sometimes in my bedroom. I like to reflect at a cafe. One of my favorite spots is a cafe. I like to reflect there. Also, I like to reflect in serene environments such as maybe a park or near, water. I grew up near the lake, so a lot of times I would just go to the beach and the lake, and it was so quiet, and I would just sit there on the bench. I was doing that when I was young girl, and just sit there. So that was really good for me. So those are good places to reflect. But to be honest, personally, I can reflect anywhere. I can be on a plane ride. And most of the time I'm quiet or gone to sleep, depending on how long the flight is. And I take those moments to reflect. So anywhere is an opportunity to embrace reflection, depending on how you see it, how you, your perception of it.
This is amazing, y'all, because Hope and I have not talked about this subject at all before we came on. And she has listed every one of the places that I put down. And we're going to talk about that later. Thank you, Hope, because she's already shedding light about reflection. Is, you don't necessarily have to have one spot. There's so many ways and places that you can reflect. All you need is your journal. Or for some people, all you need is your recorder so you can speak into it. And, begin to reflect on where you are. Oh, this is so good, Hope. Thank you for sharing this. We got some responses coming in. Daphne said, for me, it allows me to reflect on my. Okay, Daphne, you want to finish that one for us and let us know what are you reflecting on? Nicole says, anytime I'm near the water, I find myself reflecting whether I intend to or not. That is why I carry a journal everywhere. That's kind of like me too. That's my go-to. The water is my place. Nature and my porch, anywhere where I can see nature. Sometimes people go to the library or,
Yep.
like you said, a coffee shop
Mm-hmm.
while they're on the plane flying and they just have that moment. It's like that's all you got all the time in the world to journal and to do those things. This is great. Thank you for sharing that, Nicole. Dr. Brown is saying, for me, it is a time to turn aside and take inventory of how I'm doing and when I can make needed adjustments. My walking time allows me this benefit to reflect. Once again, that's a nice time to do that too. Sometimes reflection for me is walk when I go walking. I just think. Let's see. Patrick, a benefit of self-reflection is reimagination. Wow. Patrick, go ahead and share with us in the chat what that might mean to you, reimagination. Thank you for sharing that. Here's Monique. Self-reflection provides an opportunity to think about my day and my feelings, which is great because you can do this in the middle of any of your day, like you're doing now at tea time.
Mm-hmm.
Time to reflect, time to stop. It's just a focus on a practice that's going to help you. Thank you for sharing that, Monique. And then here's Patrick again. Tea Time Tuesday was created from a time of reflection. Yes, it was. And now here we are implementing it every Tuesday. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, okay. Hope you want to take Daphne's.
Sure. She says, I reflect daily, no matter where. However, I love quiet and to be near bodies of water to reflect. All right.
So we see that everyone has a spot or a place or, a moment that they can do to take the time out for reflection. So I want to talk a little bit more. Let's go a little bit further on reflection. We just got through saying what are the benefits of reflection. So I'm going to share that perhaps it's a time for us to take notice. It's a time to be attentive to what we've learned, and it's a time to review. What do you guys think about that? It's a time, to review. It's a deliberate time that we're attentive to where we are. It's a time to, just get absolutely quiet. I think this is a great place. I found myself looking back at experiences. For me, when I'm taking this time to just take notice, I think about my life experiences, the conferences and the workshops I've been to. Maybe this is a time to reflect on some of the places you visited or some things that you want to learn. Maybe there's some practices or some new things you want to implement in your life. This is, using your journal could be that very tool to help you write it down. There's some things I've learned in books quotes that have been, just a profound in my life. What are those profound moments? The aha moments. You can put those in your journals.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, those things motivate me. They inspire me. What about you, Hope?
For me, it's just I enjoy quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge uh, thing for me. Just the calm. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about quiet. Sometimes I don't want any TV, any music, any noise. And sometimes I'll say this when I wake up. And most of the times, it's my time of reflection as well.
First in
So
the
upon
morning.
waking up, yeah, I find myself reflecting a lot. Reflecting a lot about how I feel in my upcoming day. And I know I was looking at Nicole's comment about a journal. And you know what? I have a little bitty, even a small, compact one that I'm able to take literally anywhere. So it's very little, and I'm able to write right away. So it's an opportunity for me to just take a hold and grasp for my day with the morning, with getting up in the morning and reflecting at that time as well.
Thank you. And I love that. I like the people. There are some people that just love early morning times. That's their quiet time before everything's going happening, like you, Hope. And then there's, midday or even at night when everybody's settled down. That's your,
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I'm not a big morning person as far as talking
Mm-hmm.
because during that time in the morning, I'm reflecting.
That's
So like
good.
I don't like a lot of phone calls or a lot of things. So I kind of just take that time to reflect upon my day. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the like, real talkative type in the morning, but I am definitely because I'm reflecting
Mm-hmm.
and just thinking about my day and things like that. So I'm pretty much quiet. I'm in my morning times until I start work.
I love that. And that's good because that's the time that you can grab your journal right then and there and put a few things
Hmm.
in there.
Yeah,
And you kind of, does that help you with the course of your day when you write it down?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If I either if I write it or if I'm thinking it. So that's most of the time. That's why I'm like quiet because when I wake up, it's kind of like my mind is going into reflecting about my day, and making adjustments that I need,
Like that.
that are positive to be able to embrace the day that I'm going into. So that's why the early morning time of reflection is really good for me because it helps to get me going and setting my course for the particular day that I'm getting ready to engage into.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can hashtag a lot of the things that Hope has said already. I mean, that we could just really think about and utilize. Take notice of those things, reflection in the morning. You can even hashtag morning reflection because that makes a big difference. That
Yeah.
makes a big
Mhm.
deal to
Mhm.
that, how that starts our day. How we begin our day is how we enter into it. And so starting with reflection makes a big deal. I'm gonna thank you for sharing that, Hope. I
Oh,
think a lot of us can glean from that. And so here goes Patrick. Reflection creates, empowers, and fosters awareness, leading to action. We're gonna get into that too. And then he says reflection allows you to listen, communicate, and observe people and things firsthand and yourself. And so it's like that mirror again. Well, I mean, if you're talking about yourself, you're starting to look at yourself and observe and those type of things. And then also reflection helps you glean from your communication that you have with others, your conversations, those life experiences that you want to just process. You can write that in your journal. And it helps you go along throughout your course of your day, your week, or whatever experiences that you're having. So keep in mind that as you are journaling and you're in this place of taking notice, like I said, it's a way of taking notice. Be attentive to what you've learned. I think it's a time to review. Keep in mind that you're learning, unlearning, and relearning. That's a great place to be, I believe.
oh,
Mhm.
yes.
It's a great place to be. And
Mhm.
so, as we are taking notice of what we're doing with reflection, another way to move forward in this is to take stock. And that's documenting, right? Documenting your
Yeah.
collecting your data, writing down what you've learned.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to say this. We can take stock and just writing things down. I want to go further that we can write our expectations in there too. Not
Mhm.
just what we're learning, but what are we expecting out of ourselves? Where do we see ourselves? And I've used that technique in my journals in many ways, especially for inspiration. And you can use your journal. Here's a few tips I thought would be handy also. You can use your journal as, like I said, a fluid type document. It's not just a place to just write or doodle, but you can create infographics. How many of
Mhm.
you like infographics? I know I work with
Mhm.
infographics.
Mhm.
You can put diagrams in there, put your
Mhm.
information in there, your goals or your pros and cons. Maybe you could draw that line down the middle and say, you're about to make a decision.
Yeah.
You can put the date,
Mhm.
what is it, October 10th, 2023. I have to make this decision. What are the pros and cons? You can document that. You can document new discoveries of what you have discovered or you've seen. I think that's a great tip. Number two, you can use your journal as a time of reflection to create a checklist.
Mhm.
Put your checklist. You can do a process of elimination as you achieve each milestone.
Mhm.
That's that going back 2 years later and looking back on October the 10th. that you made a checklist of the goals that you want to achieve. You can use your journal for that. And that's a way of measuring growth. And that's where Hope was talking about growth. Um, we all want to see how far we've come, but it's a good thing to have a measuring tool to do that. And your journal is a way to do that. And number 3, you can create a timeline for yourself so you can reflect as you go along. So maybe in 2024, January 2024, I want to be able to do this. You write a timeline, and as you do that, you start seeing how far you've come.
That's good.
So, going back to what we were saying, take stock, document, collect data, write down what you have learned. And so I think, not just keeping it as a diary, you want to use it more. You can use it for those ways of learning and unlearning and relearning. And then take hold. You want to use what you've learned for growth and put new applications into action. So when you do that, thank you, Hope. When we're doing that, we're using what we've done to put into practice. You can use new applications. This is where we can quietly brainstorm. We can do a think tank. You look at all these options that we have, use it as a think tank, develop strategies for our lives. Go ahead, Hope. Look, you want to say something?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. Just wanted to add the importance of documentation.
Yes.
And how even with documenting, I'm able to see what's going on. I'm able to sometimes assess, not judge, but just assess with the documentation. That's why the journaling is important tool as well, because it is a way of documenting things. And even when you said about like the pros and the cons and different things, I do that as well. I draw those things and different types of charts and things that I've been able to read. But the documenting portion is very important. If you're looking to grow, if you're looking to access, if you're looking to have clarity, and just be able to see where you are, see where you're going, and then documenting, some things about how you're planning to get there as well to sustain that. So that's the important. Documenting is very important to me.
Yes,
It's very important to me, and I can't say because I'm able to go back and like, wow, okay, this and that, and then when I document, I can say, okay, so this is where I would like to go, and this is what I would like to be able to see as well. So, yeah.
I like that. Y'all hashtag clarity out there, because Hope made that very apparent. One of the things that when you look at, really, I think sometimes we look at the journal as a diary. You can use it as a diary to has for chronological purposes. This happened this day and that.
Yeah.
But you can still use it to find clarity as to where you are and where you're going. It's a way to measure growth and to get clear about where you are. And I really appreciate what you're saying about that, because we're not only going to use it as a diary, but to use it more so as how do you like we do with our practices, we put that in there. And things that we're learning is a way of reflecting on how we're growing. Thank you, Hope, for sharing that. Let's go ahead and see what our tea timers are saying. We got a lot of things here. Patrick is saying documenting with review helps you maintain consistency. I love that, because you're consistent, but it holds you accountable too.
Yeah.
You can use your journal as a way to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And Monique, she's saying this allows us to generate new ideas when documenting during times of reflection. Yes, this is where we get, like she's saying, the new ideas. We become innovative. Our minds get recharged. We start coming up with new, fresh things. There's so much you can do with that journal that makes a difference. And you look back at, a year from now, and you're like, this is where I got this idea from, because I took the time to reflect on how I can make this work and put this idea on paper. Yes, thank you. Hashtag clarity. Hashtag clarity. That's right. And it's all about getting clear, and we can use our journals for that. So, like I said, this particular time of taking hold, using what we've learned putting new things into application. You know, this is a way to turn a new leaf, go in a new direction, access new resources. You know, we can, it'll help us to gain more momentum and learn to grow. I've used my journal for that. So I'm really excited about that. And so as we are going into um, actually using our journal today, please pick one of these writing prompts that you want to put in your journal to help you use as a reflection of learning. Where and how did you find the most inspiration? Where? Think about your cultural experiences or what you've done in the last year or last quarter or last months, you know, and what ways did you surprise yourself? Did you go beyond your scope of expertise? Did you go beyond your expectation or your potential? What new things have you learned, unlearned or relearned, that has benefited you into helping you grow? I think it's so necessary for us to want to know how far we've grown. And also, I think it's so important for us to unlearn things as we relearn. You know, we don't want to stay the same or stay stagnated. What areas, and I think I wrote this a little backwards, the last one, but what areas of self-discovery did you most find challenging? As Hope says, we're not going to always have those grander days. We're going to have challenges, but what areas did we find most challenging and how can we learn from them? And then the last one, what areas of self-discovery did you find most rewarding? And that's the aha, the milestones, and the things that we learn about ourselves. So I'm going to just leave that up just for another moment. Pick one of these, put these, you know, writing prompt in your journal and reflect on that as a, you know, a tool of helping you kind of find where you are in aspects of learning where you are. And so I'm going to go ahead and release this now, but you can always go back to the Tea Time Tuesday to find out a little bit more about what prompt you want to use. And so I got a few comments coming in. We have a few comments coming in, I hope. Dr. Brown, he's saying, I like the timeline and that it keeps me on task to ensure I accomplish what tasks I need to complete. I like the timeline too. Thank you, Dr. Brown, because timelines kind of keep us in check a little bit and they kind of hold us accountable. And not only that, it's just a fun way and a meaningful way of seeing where we are. Thank you. Hope you want to read Monique's?
Sure. Monique says reflective journaling helps us to document growth.
Mm-hmm. And so these are all great ways and great responses. Just to remind ourselves that our journals aren't just diaries, that our journal aren't just, you know, something we just pick up, write in and put down, but it's really something that we can really use. Take with us everywhere, keep by our bedside, take it on the plane. And even if we're driving, we can brainstorm. And when we get to a place, we can say, hey, you know, you get to a place where you can document it, then that's a good time to reflect, write down what you reflect when you were walking or riding or whatever, you know. So I just really want to say thank you to our Tea Time community for joining us in this time of learning today and actually looking at other ways we could use our journals to help us learn and to become more productive and grow in those areas and stuff. So what are your takeaways? Go ahead and put your takeaways in the chat and on what you're going to do. You don't necessarily have to write down which writing prompt you're going to use, but what did what aspect of reflection really stood out to you today, and how can you use it to grow? Hope, you can go ahead and share.
Sure. So for me, I'm thankful. This is great, Carmela, this tea time, and just giving us that nudge to remind us of where we are, and just that even when you started off about our activities and what we're doing for ourselves and things like that, and how important all of that is in playing a role into well-being in its entirety.
Yes.
In the entire self. So for me, I'm just thankful that you brought this up this afternoon, because again, it gives that nudge, gives that reminding, And also journaling for me brings clarity in
Mm.
consciousness, clarity and consciousness of,
It's good.
where I am, and the consciousness of certain things, certain ways, and even certain behaviors and certain thought patterns that may be taking place. So this is just really important. I'm just glad, and everybody's chimed in with some good things, and hope that everybody will take down the pointers. And but that's what I've gotten back to for today. Just that reminder to keep, consistent and documenting. It brings a form of consistency as well. So this has been really great, Carmel. I've really enjoyed this tea time and all
Thank you.
the tea time practices that you shared this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's a great takeaway. I mean, I love what she said, clarity and consciousness. You guys can glean from that. I mean, it really brings self-awareness of where we are. And we can really learn from all of these different life experiences.
Yeah.
I love it. Charlisa, she's chiming in. She says, journaling creates an environment for me to not only learn more about me, but for me to love who I am becoming.
Good.
Oh,
That's
wow.
good. Yeah, I like that. It's just
That's
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look
Yeah.
at yourself like that mirror, like we talked about
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So
Yeah.
thank you all for sharing, to being transparent today as well, and just sharing your thoughts and your takeaways. Michelle, she's saying, my takeaway, not to be so loyal to a particular way of thinking, being and doing, and embrace having to unlearn some things. Sometimes we just have to see what doesn't fit, and replace that with new learning practices. Thank you so much, Michelle. And Monique, she says, I like the documentation during the reflection activity. This is helpful in identifying areas of growth and where I need to improve. Hashtag self-reflection time. Thank you. We got a lot of hashtags today.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all go ahead out there and hashtag these remarks, because these are really sharing some insight and shedding a lot of positivity about the fact that we can use our journals as a tool.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
thank you, Dr. Brown.
Keep
Yes.
pressing. All right. Thank you so much. Need that.
Okay. Hope
Absolutely.
we're going to put our announcements up, and hope you want to carry us into our announcements. And thank you all, Tea Timers. We
Oh,
are so thankful that you all are using these practices today. We hope that it's going to be a benefit for you. Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So here we go.
All right, so we want you to join us as we always do here on Giving Tuesdays. Today is Tuesday, and so we want you to join us in this time of giving as we give together. As we know, the Renewal Center is a nonprofit organization, and we have many things, as well as our programming and our operational budget that keeps the Renewal Center going. So we invite you to be able to give to us, join us. We have several ways that you can be able to give here. The Renewal Center, we have many ways you can give. You can give on our website. You can give text to give right from your cell phone. Also, again, our PayPal. We have CashApp, Zelle, Venmo, and if you would like to mail a check or money order, you may do so with the address information that's located here on the screen. So we thank you all. That's our executive director, Patrick Brown, and we are all a team. And thanking you all and joining in and giving to the Renewal Center, the continued vision and expansion. Speaking of our programming, we have our grief recovery program. All roads lead to grief recovery. We have individual grief sessions, and launching maybe I think next year, we're going to have our grief, pain, and stress group sessions. If you would like more information, or you know someone that would need more information regarding grief, the information is located here on the flyer. You can go to our website, or you can actually call the Renewal Center and speak to one of our teams. We have certified grief recovery specialists as well. So we invite you to get the information out there for grief. And so we also have Reforming Culture. This has been phenomenal. Oh my goodness. If you haven't come, we invite you to come if you're available on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. And this is we're understanding the mind of Christ. Join us for Reforming Culture. Hebrews 9 and 10, until the time of reformation. So we are being reformed here with understanding the mind of Christ. Join us again on Wednesdays, starting at 7:30 p.m. If you can't come, invite someone else to join us as we gain understanding in what it means to be having reforming mindset according to the mind of Christ. All right. And we also want to join you. We're calling all the ladies. I'm so excited about this. This is the Women at the Well, the Woman at the Well series this year. It's going to be led by our very own Pastor Carmela Head here. And so if you look at the screen here, this is a book that we'll be purchasing and that will be coming from that Pastor Carmela will be leading. We ask that you go ahead and register for this here, the Women at the Well. This is going to be great, a time of just down to earth, relaxing and calm and embracing who we are as women and uplifting and encouraging one another through this Becoming a Woman of Purpose by Cynthia Heald. So if you want to go ahead and purchase your book, again, our first class will be starting, was that October the 29th? Is that
25th?
25th. You want to be involved October the 25th. Go ahead and invite somebody. This is going to be a wonderful time for us women to come together and share from this book. I am definitely looking forward to it. I'm thankful, Carmela, that you will be doing this. I am looking forward to this time of replenishing and refreshing during this time of women's study.
Thank you, Hope. And thank you so much for the announcements. We are so excited here. All the things we're doing at the Renewal Center. Just so glad that you all are tapping in. We want to offer everything that we can for those that want to tap into the Renewal Center's resources, all these different things. And so thank you all so much. And Monique is saying thanks for a meaningful time of pause and reset. Thank you. We see the little leaf she has up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Monique. And Shalisa, thank you. We appreciate you too. Okay. Monique says she has her book for the Woman at the Well series. Thank you, Monique. Yeah, just like Hope has said, this is the time to get your book. If you're interested, we have the link on our Facebook pages and all the the mobile app, the places that Hope has put the information out there for us. Click the link, sign up so you can get the email on what's next and instructions on how to order your book.
Yes.
So we have had such a great time.
Yes.
We're 1 minute over today, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody for coming out for Tea Time Tuesday today. And we hope that the renewal practice that we presented to you today is going to be meaningful and helping you utilize your journal in a meaningful way. So we want to sign off now, and we hope everyone have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. And remember that I am renewal, and take care of each other. I'm going to go ahead and put all remarks up while I close us out in our music. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you later. All right. Let me
I am renewal.
I am renewal.
Yes.